Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What items are encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It'll only take me billions of microseconds to extract the items from the box and subsequently flaunt them from the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go, the unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. We have bags. Are they cluttered with accessories? For the most part, they're devoid of accessories. Alrighty, so who do we have? Oh, by the way, this is the fourth part of my unboxing of the massive Family Guy action figure line. He's telling me to check out the other parts of the unboxing of the Family Guy action figure line if you so choose to. Of course, you can forgo doing so. It's up to you. Implement decisions based on your own volition. Do not allow me to dissuade you or persuade you to do anything. Don't be influenced. I have no clout. Alrighty, so we have Stewie Griffin adorned with space attire. He's got his helmet equipped. In conjunction with having his helmet equipped, he has his blaster equipped. He only has 3 points of articulation. This Stewie Griffin, a dastardly, sadistic, coercive, maniacal, menacing, malicious, cunning, intimidating, dominating, abusive, conniving character, perhaps. He seems a bit agitated, he seems a bit infuriated. Well, he at least gives off a facade of being imbued with rage. I do love his aesthetics, I love his hues, I love his shadings, I love his deco, I love his textures. Not an abysmal figurine, but not a state-of-the-art figurine either. Why? He's slacking articulation-wise. He only has 3 points of articulation. He can rotate his waist. In conjunction with being able to rotate his waist, he can swivel his arms as well as his head. The head has rotation, which is never an unwelcome feature. Next we have this kid. I'm not sure what his moniker is. Maybe it's Neil or Nevo. It's probably Neil. He lacks articulation in his legs. They're stagnant. He cannot be rotated at the waist. He lacks a diaphragm joint. He lacks double jointed elbows. He lacks elbow joints or knee joints. His head is not relegated. His head is not relegated to a disjoint. His arms are seemingly not relegated to ratchets. I just would have preferred if he had peg holes embedded in the bottom of his feet and if he had more points of articulation. Nonetheless, he still emulates the appearance of one of the guys from the Family Guy series. He's a stupendous depiction of him. He's not a bad hunk of plastic per se, but there are areas for enhancements and refinements and augmentations, to say the least. Next we have Quagmire, adorned with his illustrious robe. It looks like it has splotches of paint embedded on it. Surprisingly, he has roughly 7 points of articulation. The legs can rotate. The rotation is encumbered by their degree of closeness. He can ascend and descend his arms. He can rotate his head. He can actually ascend and descend his head. So it seems as though his head is relegated to a ball joint. I'm not sure whether or not his arms are relegated to ball joints. I would presume that they are. They could move inwards and outwards at your own discretion. It seems as though he's about to sip a margarita, but who knows. So, I would have preferred if he had peg holes embedded in the bottom of his feet. I would have preferred if the width of the legs was extended, but it is what it is. Can't really complain too much. He's not marred with scratches, nor scuffs, or dings or dents. He's in near mint and pristine condition. He's practically unscathed. So, I'll reserve my complaints. I'll defer complaining until I come across a figurine that is marred with scratches, and whose appearance is impaired and distorted as a result of having ample scratches embedded throughout the body. So, let's just unbox the remainder of the lot. We have another news anchor figurine. I'm not sure what his moniker is. Apparently he's a double chin, although it's not very conspicuous from a faraway perspective. Or maybe they're supposed to be disparate characters, who knows? They look akin to one another. Or maybe they are supposed to be variations of the same character. I honestly have no idea. His appendage is missing. What a shame, what a pity. These figurines are shoddy in terms of having stable joints. As a totality, they're mediocre. But I guess you could say their joints are shoddy. They're not always intact. This figurine is missing a hand. And this figurine is missing an arm as well as a hand. What a real shame, what a real pity, but it is what it is. Their aesthetics, their hues, or sculpts, or textures, or molds are not abysmal by any means, but they're slacking articulation-wise. Next we have the mayor of Ohio from the Family Guy series. I'm not sure what his name is. I forget his moniker. It doesn't really matter. It's trivial nonsense. He's adorned with business attire. He's missing an appendage. What a shame, what a pity. Maybe it's somewhere in the bowels of the box. So, let me just unbox the remainder of these figurines. I'm on the cusp of passing out. I'm weary. I'm fatigued. I'm debilitated. I need to rehydrate myself and intake more calories before I further wither away and atrophy and lose more weight. Here we have Peter Griffin adorned with rabid bear attire or feral animal attire. Who knows? He seems humbled, he seems graced, he seems content, he seems jubilant, he seems opulent. Actually made a blunder. Opulent, I believe, means affluent. What word did I mean to say? I guess you could say he is opulent. Or I guess you could say he lives a posh, lavish, opulent, affluent lifestyle because he could afford housing and food. Housing costs a staggering fortune to sustain. The cost of housing is unequivocally hefty and outside the parameters of most people's budgets, which is why most people are living with others and cannot afford their own housing unit. But nonetheless, I digress. I meant to say he seems jubilant, content, gratified, and buoyant, rather than opulent. So sorry about the blunder earlier. I love his attire. It's too bad that the mascot cannot clench his teeth together. His appearance is impaired by minor scratches that distort his appearance. I have no way of rectifying that aforementioned issue unless I paint over the scratches or scuffs. We have another accessory. We have Peter Griffin, nude, or a hunk of plastic, not adorned with any attire. He's wearing glasses, but they're embedded on his face. So with a caveat of his glasses, he doesn't have any attire on per se. What an unusual, novel, exquisite action figure. I prefer to see my action figures adorned with wardrobes and cosmetics and ornaments, but can't always get what you yearn for. You have to concede to what the market provides, or forgo buying anything at all. Next we have Stewie Griffin or his twin or his doppelganger or his carbon copy driving this sperm spaceship. Or I shouldn't say spaceship, I should just say, well, maybe it is a spaceship, who knows, or a sperm ship, whatever the shell this is supposed to be. You can see him inside if you look closely. I can't zoom in with my camera right now, so you just have to make do with what you can discern through the perspective of my camera lens at the moment. I disabled the autofocus functionality. Next we have the silhouettes. Well, maybe these aren't silhouettes. I'm not sure what they would be constituted as. Maybe just hunks of plastic of females that Quagmire is seducing. Or maybe they're seducing him. Who knows? They lack articulation in every facet. A treadmill accessory was encompassed within the box. Now it's been liberated from the box. We seem to have a helmet for Stewie Griffin. I want to see if there's any more figurines within the lot. Alrighty. Fortunately, the seller took the liberty to wrap certain figurines in plastic bags. We have the Death Dog with a 1970s attire. He has an afro. He digs it. Stewie Griffin. I was about to say his head became severed. He has a headband, chain. He seems to wear an army uniform or some type of uniform for stealth combat, who knows. I can't discern what this tire is exactly supposed to represent. But I would make the arbitrary assumption that it's some type of army attire or assassin attire or stealth-based attire, who knows. I'll leave it at that. Okay, now we have the Death Dog. That's not a variant. In stark contrast to other figurines within the lot. Actually, I revoke my prospective statement. He's marred as a scratch. What a shame, what a pity. Are these figurines beginning to falter? Has integrity of the joints become compromised? Unfortunately, it has. I think this is Rufus or Stewie Griffin's counterpart. He's nearly homogeneous to Stewie Griffin. Are there salient differences between them? Personality-wise, they're supposed to be disparate. Their characteristics, their qualities are disparate, but appearance-wise, they look akin to one another. So, not an abysmal figurine by any means, but just like the other figurines, it could utilize more points of articulation. Fortunately, he's relatively unscathed. His integrity has yet to be compromised. Maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. Maybe these figurines are beginning to falter. So we have the size for the death action figures. Not bad. We have a plethora of accessories relegated to the bowels of the box. We have appendages for characters, so they were already broken prior to the advent of the seller shipping out these figurines. Now I wonder if they were as scratched prior to the advent of the seller shipping out these figurines, or if they became severely scratched into the transportation process. He didn't do a stellar job packing these figurines. It was relatively lackluster in his behalf. It was just sheer incompetence. He should have performed his due diligence and packed these figurines in a manner where they're less apt to get scratched, but once he sold the figurines, he didn't care about the satisfaction of the buyer. If he did, then he would have performed his due diligence and placed these figurines in individual plastic bags, or at least added bubble wrap or more bags or more wrapping to the lot. So next we have accessories, and that's pretty much everything action figure wise. I don't want to go through all the individual accessories, it's going to take way too long. I haven't eaten for over 12 hours. I haven't drank anything for over 12 hours, so I'm unequivocally dehydrated. I'm famished. The accessories aren't very pivotal either. I mean, some of the figurines have severed appendages, so you can't even wield all the accessories, and the corresponding accessories can't even fit into all their hands because their hands are not even all semi-clinched together. Actually, this figurine doesn't have hands that are semi-clenched together. He only has one hand. Nor does this Chris Griffin figurine. He doesn't have an aperture embedded in his hand, so he can't even have an accessory protruding out of his hands. So there's missed opportunities on Mezco's behalf, but if you're an avid, devout Family Guy fan, if you have a proclivity to love Family Guy merchandise, if you have a propensity to buy Family Guy merchandise, then maybe these figurines will tickle your fancy, maybe they'll appease you, maybe they'll eminently appeal to your niche interest, but it's all contingent upon your preferences. It's all matter of what you love and what you detest. If you are not fond of the Family Guy series, if you're not content with the Family Guy characters, and these figurines will likely not cater to your niche needs. Mezco pandered to the needs of Family Guy fans who are eager and animate about procuring Family Guy figurines. So, as a totality, if you've seen all 4 parts of my unboxing of the Family Guy action figure lot, this massive action figure lot is meritorious. For under $8 per figurine, I got to reserve my complaints. It could have been worse. My main gripes appertaining to the figurines are that they're marred with scratches and some scuffs. They have missing appendages. And what else is another issue? They're lackluster articulation-wise. I would have preferred they were more heftier, a bit more bulkier. I would have also preferred if they all had peg holes embedded in the bottom of their feet. I would have preferred if they had finger joint articulation, if they had diaphragm joints, if they had disc joints relegated to their heads. I would have preferred if they could rotate their biceps and rotate their calves and their thighs. I would have preferred if they could perform an ab crunch. I would have preferred if they could perform ankle pivots. I would have preferred if ankle rockers were present with these figurines, but that's not the case. And I would have preferred if their fingers were either all semi-clenched together or fisted. I would have preferred if their hands were not open, but some of them have open hands, such as this Chris Griffin action figure, and you can't really rectify the situation unless you modify and augment and enhance and refine these figurines. I'm not going to tamper with these figurines anymore. I'm just going to flaunt them on my shelf and stick with my decision. But if I was willing to paint over their scratches and scuffs, if I was willing to reassemble their body parts or repair their body parts so that they're cohesive and so that their body parts are all intact, then it would amplify the intrinsic value of these figurines. It would also amplify the extrinsic value of these figurines because they would command a more hefty, staggering premium price via eBay, especially if they're refined and repaired. But right now, their appearances are a bit distorted, they're a bit impaired, they're not as robust and not as state-of-the-art as they should be. But when your figurines become ravaged, there's not much recourse you have in the matter. Is it in the manner or in the matter? I guess it's in the matter. Who knows? But or is it in the matter? Or whatever, that's an enigma. I could look it up later via online. But so here's some of the figurines once again. At least some of them are in near mint condition. Some of them are practically unscathed, such as the Death Dog. His appearance isn't tainted with scratches. Or I guess you could say the appearance of the variant of the death dog is tainted with scratches. The Stewie Griffin and Rufus Nemesis figurines are also not impaired by scratches. They're not the victim of their own flaws. In the context of scratches on the Brian Griffin figurine adorned with a banana suit that's wielding a maraca is not in abysmal condition either, so I guess I have to reserve my complaints. I mean, I did procure a plethora of figurines, likely over 20 for under $130, so let's just make the arbitrary assumption that I procured 25 figurines and I paid roughly $130. So if you do 130 divided by 25, I believe you get roughly slightly over $5 per figure, so under $8 per figure, slightly over $5, likely less than their asking prices amid being released onto retail store shelves. So did I strike gold with this one? No. If they were in mint and pristine condition, then I would have lucked out, that I would be more content with my purchase and decision, but I relish these figurines. I'm an avid fan of the Family Guy series, even though I haven't seen it in years. Maybe one day I'll get back into it when time permits, but at the moment I just have to concede to what the market provides and accept that I don't have Family Guy action figures in mint condition. I mean, it is what it is. I'll flaunt them on my shelves, I'll revel in taking a gander at them, but I'll always know in the back of my mind that they are inundated with imperfections or flaws that impair their appearances and that cause their intrinsic values to plunge and plummet. So I guess that's not too much of an issue. But it does agitate me, it does bother me, it grinds my gears, it infuriates me, it invokes my rage, but in retrospect, I likely would have forgone purchasing this lot had I known that they were marred with scratches, so that's my main gripe. Other than that, I'm content. Although I can't get past that gripe as an obstacle towards allowing me to truly relish these figurines. But yet again, I should be more realistic. It's going to be eminently cumbersome to come by a Family Guy action figure lot in near mint condition for under $6 per figurine. But if these figurines were lower than their asking retail prices, then perhaps I should expect them to not be in the utmost best condition. So their condition has not been optimized by any means, but I guess you could say their conditions have not been optimized by any means. But I am gratified that I now possess Family Guy figures of characters that I admire and that I relish watching. I love the antics and the abnormalities of these characters. I love when they indulge in making puns and in spewing witty humor or witty dialogue from their vocal folds. Or I love when they indulge in spewing witty, humorous dialogue from their vocal folds. It's also hysterical when they mock one another. So I do like the characters, but the figurines could utilize more articulation. So I'm done reiterating myself. I've been a bit redundant. I've been a bit repetitive. No need for me to repeat myself. No need for this video to be repetitious. So I hope that you found this video to be enthralling and intriguing. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.